Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm Judy Taylor, President of the Habersham County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us. My guests today are representatives from the Habersham Community Theater, the Member of the Month, and the Technical College System of Georgia. And my first guests are from Habersham Community Theater. I have Alta Mosley and Bob Smith. Welcome, Alta.
Thank you.
Welcome, Bob.
Thank you.
So glad to have both of you on Chamber Chat.
We're happy to be here.
And Alta, we're just going to start off with you, if that's okay. And since this program goes into several counties, everybody doesn't know what the Habersham Community Theater is or where it is. So you want to explain it to the people who don't know it.
I'm happy to. And unfortunately, it's not just the people in other counties who don't know about us.
Okay.
There are a lot of people in Habersham County, in Clarksville itself, which is where we're physically located, who don't know we exist. But Habersham Community Theater is a live theater, an amateur theater. It is a community theater in the best sense of the word. We use people from anywhere in the community to be actors, directors, work concessions, be volunteers in any format that they're interested in.
So you don't just have to be able to act
No.
to be involved.
Indeed. We use volunteers for every function in the theater. We don't pay anybody. We are a totally volunteer organization supported by the ticket sales, by ad sales, memberships, and such as that. So we can't afford to pay a whole lot of people, so we don't pay anybody.
And even to your ad sales are not that high because the Chamber bought one.
That's right.
They're very reasonable.
They're very reasonable. We have a good many advertisers, but we try to make it a great value for everyone. But the theater actually is located right in the center of Clarksville. It's the only building in the town with a lighted marquee, so that gives you a clue where we are. But we're physically located at 1370 Washington Street.
Just off the square.
Just off the square in the historic Habersham Theater. The Habersham Community Theater is housed in what was an old cinema theater back in the 30s to the late 50s. So
I love it. I love going there, Alta. You do have that feeling of it's historic, and you all do such a great job. The Chamber is so proud of the quality of productions, and you know that Habersham Community Theater is a big asset to this county, and it is also a tourism attraction.
well, we think so, and we like to think that it's a definite benefit. We have heard from many realtors that when people hear we have a live theater,
Yes.
they're like, oh, really? In this small county?
That's right.
And not only that, but as you said, we really have a wonderful talent base
Yes, you
to be
do.
a very small county.
And Bob, let's get to you now. Tell us about the offerings at Habersham Community Theater. Do you only do live plays, or do you do other things there too?
No, we do a real variety of things. Plays, of course, are the main staple. And musicals. Last season, I think we had 3 musicals out of 6 major productions. And sometimes...
And one of them, all of them are hits, but the Patsy Cline one, that was off the charts.
Oh, well, I just have to mention, and
That's
that,
right.
since you brought that up, our New Year's Eve program is featuring Courtney Schofield singing many of the songs from Patsy Cline, plus some other country divas.
Right.
But it's people really enjoy hearing Courtney, and she's going to do several of the Patsy Cline shows.
That should bring a
Yeah,
lot of people.
As a matter of fact, a few years ago, I was on a cruise from Europe to Fort Lauderdale, and somebody introduced me to someone, and they said, I told them where we're from. They said, oh, we know that theater. We saw a great Patsy Cline show there. That was in the middle of the Atlantic. But we just finished a musical review which used young people from, I think, first grade through
College.
two college people were in it. We're coming up. We have the Trinity Classical School. One of our members teaches there and is directing a Lewis Carroll tribute, which is Tales of the Jabberwocky Through the Looking Glass, and that'll be November 7th and through the 9th. And I've already mentioned Courtney Schofield's program. It'll be a champagne and dessert and
Event for New Year's Eve.
right.
Oh, all that sounds it sounds interesting, and it should bring a lot of people. Oh, well, you've already touched on this, and either one of you can answer this, but who can participate? You pretty well said that
Anybody.
anybody can.
Step
It
up
doesn't
and-
matter
that's
if you
right.
act. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
If you want to come up there and sweep the floor, you need
Yeah.
that too.
I'd be happy for them to.
Especially.
I take out the trash quite frequently, so if somebody wants to come do that, that's fine too. Yes, you
Well,
can
let's-
do anything.
Let's
from,
talk about where tickets can be purchased. How can you get tickets?
You just either call our theater line, 706-839-1315. We're in the phone book. Or you can go online, www.habershamtheater.org. And that will link you to our ticketing agent. So you buy
Okay.
tickets that way.
People who are interested in attending these great events that Bob talked about up through New Year's Eve, they can go online and do that. But
Right.
how can you find out more about the theater? Do you have a website?
We do, and it's habershamtheater.org, just like where you would go to purchase your tickets. Habershamtheater.org. And you will
And-
learn about how auditions that are coming up. You'll learn how to become a member, what plays are coming up, what events are coming up. So you can learn all about it. There's a history section of it. There's a lot of information.
Well, what do you want? What is, our time's about up, but what do you want the audience to know that we haven't said?
Maybe the season. We've already
By all
had The
means.
Marvelous Wonderettes, which was a big hit. That was a musical. Christmas Carols coming up early in December. Dixie Swim Club. What's that one?
Oh, that's 12 Angry Men.
Oh, yeah, 12 Angry Men.
Print's
yeah,
so small
drum-
you can't see
right.
it.
And Christmas
Bells.
and The King and I, which I'm directing and hoping Alta will be in there helping me. We try to do some traditional things and untraditional, such as Avenue Q.
That's right.
Why don't you tell us about that,
We're
Alta?
doing Avenue Q in January, which is a laugh out loud funny musical, but it's directed at adults or older teens. And it addresses issues like sex, drinking, surfing the web for porn. So it gives a whole new meaning to a Muppet show. It's Muppets for adults. But the most important aspect of the show is that it focuses on people learning to accept diversity, whether it's race, sex, religion, sexual orientation, or political party. Yeah, we make fun of all of them equally in there. So
But it's also educational.
it is. It's very educational. You learn that everybody, as one of the songs says in there, everyone's a little bit racist. You just don't think about it. Some people think it's funny to laugh at African American jokes, but an African American doesn't. However,
That's
they
right.
might think it's funny to laugh at a Polak joke, but the Polish people would not. So it brings a lot of that to light. It makes you take a look at yourself.
That's
And
good.
they are making puppets.
Right.
The actors are actually making the puppets, and I saw one the other night, and it looks like it's a professional.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Alta and Bob, thanks to both of you for all the work that you do on a daily basis and for all that you do for Habersham County. And I just appreciate your being on Chamber Chat today. Please stay with us. We're going to take a short commercial break and be right back.
No matter what the occasion or how big the achievement, everyone deserves an award. Look no further than Bob and Ted's Trophy in Clarksville. Trophies, medals, plaques, and more. It's what you need when you need it. Family owned and operated since 1974, Bob and Ted's has been rewarding the community for nearly 40 years, offering quality service at competitive pricing, all done with a speedy turnaround. Get what you need when you need it.
This is Mitch Simpson at Mitch Simpson Motors in Cleveland, and we want you to know that if you're looking for a good car, truck, or SUV, you're approved, no matter what your credit looks like. We know that bad things are happening to a lot of good people, but you still need a good vehicle to get you where you need to go. So come see us. We're right here in Cleveland at Mitch Simpson Motors.
Thank you for staying with us. Our next guest is the November Member of the Month. It is Brian Sutton, representing Sutton Tire Company. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you. Glad to be here on this beautiful fall afternoon.
It is beautiful, isn't it? And congratulations on being the November Member of the Month.
Thank you for nominating us.
Well, the Chamber Board puts a lot of thought into Member of the Month. We can
Thank
only
you.
do 12 a year.
Thank you.
And we've got many members, so we're discreet about who we nominate and choose. So congratulations again. Brian, let's just get started. Who started Sutton Tire Company? Because I know you didn't.
That's correct. Our 66
You were
years.
probably, were you born then?
No, my dad started in 1947. I was born in 1956. So he returned from World War II, started Sutton Tire actually in Cornelia, Georgia as Cornelia Tire and Recap, which is just down the square in a very small building on just below the fire department here in Cornelia. So was there until 1951, moved to Clarksville and became Clarksville Tire and Retread, and rented a small building off 441 near Ingalls. And I noticed today as I was driving in, that building has fallen in, which
Oh,
was an
really?
old metal building, which is like down in a hole. So from there, he purchased property out on our present location on 115 and 1952, and changed the name thereof to Clarksville Tire and Retread.
So you have been where you are now since 1952.
Correct.
It's quite a few years there.
And there was only one other business on that road from the courthouse out the road to almost Highway 17. There was a service station that was only out the road. There was not Clarksville Elementary, Habersham Electric. None of that existed then.
A lot has changed since then. But
Change
Brian,
is inevitable.
yes. But let's talk about who your customers are. Tell us, who do you provide services for?
Well, our area from Sutton Tire is we service a lot of customers outside of Habersham County. So probably our service area is around 50 miles. We supply contract tires to government agencies, national accounts, state agencies as well, and we have a delivery truck and we service those areas. Plus we have a lot of customers that come into our area from adjacent counties. We provide a service truck that goes out and provides services for trucks that are large trucking accounts. Today I had a phone call from Penske. So we service and provide road service to those customers when they're broke down on the road.
Interesting. So, Brian, Sutton Tire has been around now for 66 years.
Correct.
And you have survived the recession. You have survived probably more than one recession.
True.
And you all have done this when other small businesses have failed.
Correct.
Tell us your secret. What has been the key for success for Sutton Tire Company?
Well, as I was noting today and reading the history of the business, there's only one business in Clarksville that is still in business the same time we did, Wilbanks Lumber Company, and everyone else has gone out. The banks have changed name, everything's changed name. So for us to survive, it requires on our part education, us training, and training means from our suppliers there is a relationship between our suppliers that they insist upon us getting up-to-date information about their product, making sure that we're meeting customers' needs with the most up-to-date equipment and the most up-to-date knowledge about their tire needs.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're using, for instance, we use the chamber for training programs on leadership.
Mm-hmm.
We go to our technical colleges and take courses. We're required by our manufacturers to pass courses that give us updated material online and for us to maintain our certificates and our relationships with our vendors.
Mm-hmm. And technology has made all the difference in the world, hasn't it?
Oh, it's becoming more difficult. A lot of the manufacturers of cars now have proprietary computer codes that don't allow repair shops to diagnose problems, that the car dealers want to keep those repairs tied to the dealership themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So to augment that, we have to update our equipment, buy newer equipment to provide those services to our customers, because a lot of the manufacturers are behind in trying to keep up with servicing vehicles because they can't keep the equipment up to date because car manufacturers make it more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me just ask you, what do you see? It is amazing that Sutton Tire has survived and going strong after 66 years. What do you see for the future of Sutton Tire? We're going to see 66 more years?
Well, I have a son that's working for me now, but 3 generations in a business are very difficult in this day and time. But, we expect to be here. My wife says I can't retire, so I got to keep on keeping on. Mm-hmm. And for us to keep going, we have to keep evolving for changes in the marketplace. I mean, we can't keep doing the way we did business last year, this year, and the overall problems that we see and how going forward is technology, the changes in technology. How do we get in touch with people? Where are people viewing us? Facebook, websites, texting, all the ways that we have to approach our customers and let them know what we provide for them and what we're able to do, rather than them driving to Beaufort, to Atlanta, to Gainesville. We're a hometown business. We can take care of everything you need to drive to Gainesville for.
Well, Brian, our time is up, but what is your message for all the customers that you deal with?
Our slogan now and our mission statement is to exceed all customers' expectations. So whatever we do, we're going to do it better than what they even think that we're going to be able to provide for them. So once they leave, we're going to want them to be exceeding in anything that we look and see that we're able to do for them.
That is remarkable, and good luck to you for
Thank you.
another 66 years.
I don't know if I can live that long or not.
But your son can take over. Your son can be there. Thank you for staying with us, and please stay with us. We're going to take a short commercial break and be right back.
Hear from your doctors at Chestatee Regional Hospital.
Any community that's growing like this community is needs a good medical facility for people to go to.
We have an exceptional level of medical and surgical proficiencies in the area.
You're going to get the same care here you would anywhere in the country.
Chestatee does offer a very personal touch, and I think that's one of the greatest assets of the hospital.
And it should be supported to help keep the community going.
Thank you for staying with us. Our last guests today are Dr. Gail Thaxton, President of North Georgia Technical College, and Ron Jackson, Commissioner of the Technical College System of Georgia. Welcome, Dr. Thaxton. Welcome, Commissioner.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, I'm just so thrilled to have both of you on Chamber Chat today.
Great.
And Dr. Thaxton, I'm just going to start with you.
Okay.
I was recently at North Georgia Tech at a ribbon cutting for the new industrial training lab there, and I was so impressed. You want to tell our audience a little about that and how they can get training there?
Oh, I'd be delighted to. We are excited about our technology training lab because it's really a response to our manufacturing community in Northeast Georgia. They needed a place to train their employees, whether they be new or it be training for veteran employees, to be trained on Siemens or Allen Bradley equipment, to be able to manage and operate PLCs, or to be able to hardwire equipment, just put the parts together, the components, and make it work. So we invested in that equipment so we could invest in the community and give our manufacturers a place to train their workforce.
Well, I'm telling you, the day I was up there and we saw that demonstration of what they could do, it was just so impressive.
It's quite something, and so we're delighted, and we expect for those seats to be full for many, many months to come.
Good. And Commissioner, again, I want to tell you how happy I am to have you on Chamber Chat.
It's great to be here.
And I want to tell our audience that you are head of the technical college system all over Georgia.
Right.
That means that you are over how many technical colleges?
24 colleges now.
24 colleges now.
Right.
Well, Commissioner, as a chamber president, I am well aware of our unemployment figures, our unemployment numbers. However, our major industries in the area still tell me that they cannot get the people with the skills, with the high skills that they are looking for. Can you tell me why we have such a wide skills gap in our country, and maybe what the technical college is doing to help?
Well, I can tell you that it's a Georgia problem. It's an American problem. The industries and the workplace in America and in Georgia has changed so rapidly. And everything that happens in manufacturing and healthcare and aviation and logistics has a technology component to it now. And quite frankly, the workplace and changing that quickly and that fast over the last 10 or 15 years, a lot of people just didn't get the kind of specific training and education that they needed to fill those jobs. Education may have lagged a little bit behind where industry was going with all of the new technology. If you go to a Kia auto plant and see the equipment and the way they put those automobiles together compared to the way the GM plant or the Ford plant was in Atlanta that are no longer there, it's a different industry. There's not a human hand that touches a weld on any of those cars. They're done by robots. So robotic technicians and people that understand mechatronics, they're required for that manufacturing. And that's true of the flooring industry. It's true of just about every industry in Georgia. So that individuals don't have the specific skill sets that are needed, usually in the area of technology and technicians. That's where the skills gap really is, and where industry is frustrated, where we're trying to help fill that gap. We work with industry and businesses every day in our curriculum and our programs, and we tried welding as a huge industry, a huge area where industry tells us they need more and more welders, even though there's a lot of robotic welding in plants. There is a huge demand for welders, and at North Georgia Tech, we just built a wonderful new welding laboratory.
I have seen it. It is something else, and I believe it will house 100
stations,
students.
And I can tell you, as fast as we produce them, they get hired, because
I know they
that
do.
skill is required by industry. And they're all levels of welding. The welder that's welding on that nuclear plant in East Georgia is a different welder that may be at the auto shop in downtown Cornelia or in Clarksville. So there's all these levels of welding, and it requires different skill levels and different training levels, and industry just demands it. So we're trying to close that gap. We're working real hard at training the individuals that companies and industry needs. We're here and available to train anybody that wants to get back into that workforce. We've got a good indication of where those jobs are and where those jobs are that need to be filled. And we've got the training programs, over 600 programs in the system that we can get people into if they're looking for work, and with a very short time of skills training, we can get them back in the workforce.
I believe that, and I believe that gap will close.
Well, we're gonna work.
Really do.
We're working hard on it.
And Commissioner and Dr. Thaxton, both, I know that both of you work so diligently and you do so much to keep students in college and to make sure they graduate. But what about, are you working with the K through 12 programs to improve student readiness for college?
We are. We're working very hard with the Department of Education and the state school superintendent, and with a program called Career Pathways. We're still got a lot of work to do on that.
I remember that, yeah.
We've got a lot of work to do on it. But it's good for students, even as early as middle school, to begin to explore what it is they want to do, not specific job they want to do, but if they think they want to be in healthcare, there are certain courses they ought to take while they're in high school, and quite frankly in middle school, but at least as late as the beginning of high school. If they think they want to be in the traditional trades, they want to be an electrician, or they want to be in HVAC, air conditioning and heating, or whether they want to be a truck driver, or whether they want to be in aviation, they need to begin to narrow in high school on the kinds of courses that prepare them for the career area, the career path that they're interested in. And we need to align what goes on in high school with what we require at the technical college for those career pathways, those career program areas, as well as the university system. So we're working closely with high schools to align the curriculum through career pathways that makes it easier for students to be better prepared for college. It's a real challenge working with over 180 school systems around the state, but it's it's work that has to be done. And our Alliance of Education Agency Heads, there are 7 education agencies in Georgia. The heads of the agencies meet every month now. We talk about these issues. We try to collaborate and make things better for the entire education enterprise and really prepare students better in high school for what they need in college.
Dr. Thaxton, there is a lot of buzz around here in Habersham County about the new registered nursing program at North Georgia Tech. Can you briefly address that?
Oh, I'd be glad to. We started our first class in our registered nursing program in August with 30 students and with a very rigorous curriculum that was really developed by our college faculty in cooperation with the Georgia Board of Nurses. We are hearing from our students that it is a wonderful program. They're thrilled with their instructors, and we still have 30 students. So the rigor is there, but we are doing everything we can to make sure that we graduate 30 at the end of this program. There was a lot of competition. We had over 130 applicants for the program.
That's
so
wonderful.
It's a very competitive process, and we constantly hear from students who want to be in the next cohort. So it is a good thing for our industries here, for our healthcare sector. And we're going to turn out so highly prepared nurses.
I believe that. I know that.
Yes.
Now, Commissioner, now things have changed a lot in the technical system in the last few years. And I know most, if not all, of the technical colleges are SACS accredited. Can you briefly address that and talk about how that affects core courses or core course training?
Absolutely. All but 2 of our colleges now. You know, we went through a lot of mergers. We merged a lot of college administrations in order to get some efficiencies. We went from 33 colleges, we're down to 24. None of our campuses closed and none of our programs closed because of that, but we saved $8.5 million by doing the mergers. But concurrent with that and running alongside of that, we wanted to make sure that all of our colleges are SACS and COC accredited, which means the academic coursework that you take and going to the nursing program or going to even the welding program where you have to take English and math, basic college courses, that those courses would transfer to other colleges and universities in Georgia. If you're not SACS and COC accredited, that won't happen. Now, we've got all but 2 of our colleges that are now accredited by SACS and COC. Those other 2 are in candidacy. They will be in the next year or so.
That is amazing.
All of them will be SACS and COC. That means that coursework will transfer to other colleges. The good news is that years ago, only 5 of our core courses would transfer to the university system, colleges and universities. Now, 27 of our core courses, by hard work between the 2 systems, 27 of those core academic courses, if you take them at our colleges, will transfer to the university system. That means students take less time when they do go on to get their 4-year degree. They get credit for courses they took. And if you're not a SACS and COC, if you don't have those credentials at that college, then those higher level colleges can't and won't accept those credits. And for a student that ends up taking 21 hours of academic credit or 30 hours of academic credit and get credit if they go to the Kennesaw State or Georgia State or the University of Georgia to complete a 4-year degree with whatever skill they got in the training they got at the technical college. It's a really powerful thing for our students.
It is, and it's such an opportunity. It's such a local opportunity. It will cost them less than travel and so many other things. And I cannot believe it, but our time is up. And I usually end with a quote. And my quote today is an old Chinese proverb, but it is inspired by these 2 people and by technical education. And it is one that you've heard many times, but give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Technical education has been teaching people to fish for a long time. Thank you for being with us today, and I'll see you next time.